is Rachel and Rebecca checking in. So I quit my job last week.
Wait, I thought we ghosted him.
I'm starving. Wait, what are you wearing? Age is just a number.
No, we can do anything.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Brutally Honest podcast. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day. If you are listening to this on your commute to work, as I know some of you do, this episode is for you, ladies.
We are talking about women in the workplace.
Women in corporate America. Let's go.
Here's the reality, is corporate America is political.
Absolutely.
You can't escape it. And also another reality is like women are the minority the majority of times.
Particularly if you're in STEM, you're a lot the minority. But yeah, you just look at stats, and like the likelihood that you're in the minority is much higher than you being the majority somewhere, unless you're like a teacher or a nurse.
Yeah, literally. And so I think that creates actually some really interesting complexities when we look at like genders and how men interact with men, how women interact with women, and then how like men and women are supposed to interact. Yeah. Because, right, if you're a girl and your goal is like, hey, I want to like climb up the corporate ladder, or honestly, if your goal is just to do well, like you have to be well liked. Yep. You have to like there is an element of like, this is actually a political game that you do have to play, for better or for worse. Like that's just like the reality of it. And you are going to have to develop relationships with men.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And it's unavoidable.
And we've talked about in previous episodes how it's like men and women like can't really be friends. We don't really believe in extramarital relationships, like best friendships between the male and female sexes. But again, like in the workplace, you are in a co-ed environment that you have to thrive and succeed in. And again, like your technical skills only take you so far, especially if you want to be in a managerial position. That is all about people skills. Like what takes you to the next level are people, leadership qualities, and those connections.
And what's so interesting is like, as a girl, it's like, well, a lot of my bosses are men, and I need to develop a relationship with these guys.
Yeah.
But it can only go so far. You know what I mean? Like this relationship, like, can't cross over the line to being like romantic, or like really you don't want to be like a threat on XYZ person's wife. You know what I mean?
Absolutely not. No flirtation, no nothing.
No flirtation. Yeah. It's just like even the jokes, it's like I feel like we have to keep it like kind of keep it here and then like let's move.
Totally. Well, you almost have to like overcorrect. Where with guys, you know, a lot of times there's just kind of like, oh, there's this comfortability, where sometimes when they talk to females, they're like, I'm staying so far on one side, keeping it so professional, so cool, calm, and collected, because most times both parties don't want it to go anywhere. Right? They're like, we don't want anything weird to happen, so we are overcorrecting. We're keeping this so high and tight, which then sometimes just puts pressure on the relationship. There's a guard up. Your guard is up because you're like, this can't go anywhere weird.
No, it's just like, we're trying to keep this professional.
Yeah.
And so then you kind of become at like a bit of a disadvantage. And I will say some girls do this remarkably well.
Absolutely.
Like some girls crush this, where it's just like, hey, I'm just like friends with my coworkers. We're like spouting jokes back and forth. Like some people do it really well. And I think also it's up to the guys to like make it a comfortable place too. So it goes both ways for sure. And some girls crush. But like there are the times where it's just like, man, like I don't have that much in common with you. And like, you're just like a guy's guy. Like you watch sports on Sunday and like, that's amazing. But like, I'm coming in and being like, you know, I didn't, unless it's like a championship game. Like, no, I wasn't watching regular season football.
No, I didn't care. Or for me, it's like, let me talk about my husband watching the game. Be like, oh yeah, my husband's a big fan of USC. And they're like, great. And it's like, that's as far as it goes. I know about like Makai Lemon and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's so hard. Well, and I love the point you talked about where like, it is so much the other half of how men are. Cause especially when you're like, say you're the only female in a workplace, which is pretty common, honestly. I do feel like, especially if working at smaller offices.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're new and they're like, wait, I don't really know how to handle this. Right. And especially like if you're kind of close in age, and it's just, a lot of times it comes from the other place. Because most girls I know, they're actually pretty chill and they're like, I just want to be friends with people. Like, I just want, like, I want to keep it chill. I don't want to be weird. But yeah, like it takes two. I remember my first job, I was like the only girl that was married. Because I got married super young. And then when I was working in Charlotte, North Carolina, where like no one's married to, like they're married young, but they're married at like 24. I was married at 19. Yeah. And then people are like, oh, did you just get married? I'm like, no, I've been married for 3 or 4 years. And they're like, what are you talking about? And it was so funny because some guys just didn't know how to interact with someone who were married. Because they had never been around
Yeah.
someone their age that was married. And so I remember talking to Davis where they know how to talk to people who have boyfriends because they're used to that. But then as soon as they're married, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't speak to you.
Yeah.
Like literally some guys are like, I can't talk to you. Like you're married. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I'm a human being. Like I'm a human with interests. Like we're in the same workplace. But I know some guys just like can't communicate with girls who are married. I remember that. And it was like, okay. Like I literally know a girl who she would like take off her ring at places, at work things, because she was like, they don't know how to talk to me if I'm married.
What? Are you serious?
Literally. She went to like some networking things and she was just like, yeah, I just took off my ring because all of a sudden they were just more comfortable around me.
Yeah, it really is a comfortability piece.
Yeah.
Because like guess what? Like my teams in New York every Thursday night would go out for drinks.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like you're sitting around the table and like I'm sitting around the table and there's like 6 dudes and like one other girl. And like yeah, they're just like, and they just want to like relax and be comfortable, you
Yes.
know? And so like, and like, of course they do. Everyone does. That's how I want to feel. But like,
Yeah.
like there's some points where I'm like, is this like, am I crossing the line? I feel a little weird here. And like probably some points where they feel like the same exact way. Cause like with their boys, it's just like, there's no attraction here and we have similar interests and we can, I don't know, talk all day.
Totally. Well, it's almost like a forced friendship in a way. Where
Yes.
it's like we need to forge a connection here because we work together.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't be friends if we didn't work together.
Right.
That's the thing. Where sometimes like with guy work friends, it's like, oh, we have a commonality here, and yeah, like their guards down.
Yeah.
With us, it's like, oh my gosh, guards up.
And well, and like if, for example, the guys have girlfriends, like the girl, I don't want my boyfriend texting
No.
Jill from work all the time.
Absolutely
like,
not.
Like it's just so it's like unfair. Whereas like if he's talking to his work friend, it's like, oh no, they're like really good friends.
Totally.
So it's just like, man, how do you like create this relationship that's professional that like really sets you up for success?
Pardon the brief interruption, but if you guys are enjoying this episode, we have a huge favor to ask you.
If you're on YouTube, go ahead and like the episode and subscribe.
And if you're on Apple, Spotify, or any other platform, please follow the podcast and leave us a 5-star review. It seriously helps out the podcast so much. Now back to the episode. Yeah.
Versus
know.
not.
I will say with my internship, the guy I worked with, he was amazing. Like we were really good friends.
It was dope.
He is like so cool. And I remember I met his wife. She was also amazing.
Yeah.
And like one thing that like, there was something about it where it was so easy just to be like friends. All of a sudden it was like, oh, we work together. Let's just talk about like, you have jokes, but it was never like, he was so good about creating connections. Whereas then other people, I was like, I can't connect with you.
It's business. It is literally strictly business.
Strictly business.
Strictly business.
Yeah.
What's funny too is like sometimes if you have girl superiors, it's like, okay, like for example, like guys connect on sports.
Yeah.
Girls, it's like, what am I going to connect on? Like probably reality TV.
Yeah.
I'm going to like maybe spill some tea on like drama that's going on in my life.
I know.
But sometimes if it's like a female superior, I feel like I'm like stooping to a lower level if I like talk about that.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
so then I like kind of feel like I'm walking on eggshells even with like the superior females in my field. And it's just so tricky.
No, female superiors are such a fascinating thing because like guys have sports.
Yeah.
And sports is just like the coverall where I mean, it's probably hard if you're a guy that's not into sports, but it is like, okay, let me just read all the ESPN headlines.
And with sports, it's like it like you can be really smart and watch sports, and you can be really dumb and watch sports.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no like scale of like it's not trashy.
It is there, just like equalizer.
Exactly.
Equalizer. All men watch sports, no matter who you are. You're the richest guy, you're the poorest guy. You watch sports. You can talk about sports. Yeah. It's so funny. I like when you see guys talk to guys who aren't into sports, and then they're like, "We have nothing. Like, what are we going to connect on here?"
Poor guys.
But with females, there's not the same thing yet because reality TV is seen as a guilty pleasure.
It is.
Sports aren't a guilty pleasure. Reality TV is a guilty pleasure. And also, like, even for me, it's like, I don't really watch Love Island or like Bravo or like, I'm like, do we talk about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and how like her husband, like, do we talk about that? Like,
Yeah.
I don't really know. And then also, like you're seen as less than for watching it. But so then with women, it's like, okay, what are you interested in? Like, what shows are you watching? Are you reading a book? Like, I don't know. Like, have you read this book? So there's like this really hard, like, what are acceptable hobbies to have?
Yeah.
And like, what can you connect with that's not work related with your female superiors? It's so hard.
It
And
is
like,
so hard.
even like opening that conversation, like, so what kind of TV do you watch? And then sometimes they're like, oh, I don't watch TV. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's like a mom with 2 kids doesn't have time.
No.
And she's still working. She doesn't have time. And so
no.
I think what would you say, like, if you had to give advice to someone in this position. It's like, no, I want to create better relationships with my male bosses and my female bosses. Like, where do you go?
Where do you go?
Where do you go? I think you can ask them about their families.
I was literally about to say,
you find out what their families, find out what their kids are interested in.
Yes, find out their kids' interests. Just like try to learn more about them. For your female boss, like if she has kids, ask about her kids.
Yeah.
Ask what they're into, what they're doing.
How, like if they're babies, like how's the sleep schedule going?
Yes.
Because it affects her.
Yeah, it affects her. Maybe try to have a kid just to level with her. I'm just kidding. But, yeah, because like you realize for like working moms, like their life is wake up at 5 a.m., exercise, work, do whatever. Like it's those things. Like, it's just like work,
I think
dinner time, bedtime, nighttime. Yes, you just ask about those things. If you know she's in, what's so fun is when like they're into Pilates or something, or they're into like an exercise form, and you can just ask them about that. That's really fun. That's like if she has a Pilates class, like you go to Pilates, you kind of chat about it, you ask how her workout was that day. Yeah, you just like have to find what they're interested in. Yeah. Whether it's like, because the reality is even these working moms, like they're humans too. They have hobbies. Like maybe they may not have as much time for it, but like maybe they're into reading, maybe they're into trying new restaurants. Like you have to figure out like everyone is a human being. And so you just find what they're interested in. Yeah. Like just, you have to figure that out somehow. Like ask about their families. Probably, you have some high hit rates with sports, golf, and for men. And they probably have wives and kids.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I think if you, I think a couple of things. Number one, if you can have like kind of like a common theme to make like an inside joke. So for example, like if she goes to Pilates every day, it's like, how was Pilates, Stacey?
Totally.
Like, and like be cheery and like ask her about it every single day. She kind of expects it. I think people like when they can expect things.
Yes.
With dudes, I don't know. I think maybe you do the same thing. And
just try to figure that out.
For example, I had a boss who, it was hilarious. He was on keto. And so, we would talk about our diets all the time.
Yes.
And
That's
actually,
fun.
one thing that I do find is when you open up to people are more likely to open up to you.
Yeah.
So with men, it's hard because you don't really want to like open up emotionally to them because that's off limits.
Yes.
But if you can open up about how you're feeling about like your job, your projects, maybe they appreciate that.
I think they for sure appreciate it.
I think they do. Like they're humans too, right?
Yes.
Like they have feelings.
Like remember that like everyone in your workplace is a human being. And so like if you can lead with like a human aspect, it's really going to help. And I think also one thing that helped me was like, don't be afraid to like be married or like to be in a relationship. Actually, so like for example, if I'm married, I'm talking to someone else who's also married. If we both talk about like, oh my gosh, my husband loves watching that game. They kind of feel comfortable that you're like, no, I'm happily married, so we're not going there. So like, and so that way it's like, that boundary has been set, but and obviously not in like a weird way where like you're not sharing things about your marriage. But for example, like the game, it's like, oh my gosh, like I watched the game with my husband over the weekend. He's like so stoked about this guy. Yeah, and sometimes that kind of helps because then they're like, oh, you're a taken woman. You're not going to be trying anything with me, and the boundaries here.
And even if you can like joke about something, like
totally,
man, Jalen Brunson, right? Like I don't know.
That sounded a little flirty.
Okay, maybe not.
Because like, did you see Jalen last night? No.
I'm sorry. You just like, you want to make people laugh. Honestly, if your demeanor can just be like happy, I think that that's the most bonus points you can like possibly do. Just be happy and act like you like them.
Just act like you like them.
Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah, and as long as you always keep a respectable physical distance from them, never be too close to them physically, that kind of helps.
Yeah, I think so.
You just be jovial. Just have a joke. And if you treat them... those people, I feel bad for these, that they never learned how to talk to the opposite sex without flirting. Yeah. You just have to figure out how to talk to them without flirting. Yeah. And it's not that hard, because once you kind of figure that out...
Once you figure it out, it's not bad.
You can just become friends with anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it does take two to tango. And so that's what's hardest. The hardest is just when the other person is uncomfortable. Because for me, it's usually just like, you're a human being, I'm a human being, we are not going to be... Like, this is an office relationship only... And that's fine.
But then I kind of go back to like where we started this. Is just like, but then there's an element that feels almost not fair because they can have these free relationships where they are themselves and laughy with like other guys. And like it almost feels like
you're at a disadvantage.
Yeah, you're in a bit of a disadvantage.
No, and
like I think that just is how it is.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where like do your best.
Yeah,
like,
so be
try
good
to foster that relationship. Be really good at your job. Be like someone that they would like to talk to and they like to be around. You're a positive person, and like you know, you have those meetings with them and whatever, and like you create, like foster like a work connection, but it's like, yeah, actually like we can't be best friends. And that was one thing for me. I remember talking to someone where it was like, that's just the reality of what I live, and that a boundary that I want to have, where it's like, actually that's a boundary that I'm going to have, and I'm not going to do anything to sacrifice that. What is tough, I do remember hearing this. I think you talked about it in the last episode, where somebody's dad had a rule where it was like, I never go one-on-one to lunch with someone of the opposite sex. Which, like, that totally makes sense as a respectful thing to your wife. But then if he is willing to go on one-on-one lunches with guys, no, you can't do that. That is like patently unfair. And so it's like, no, then you just can't go to one-on-one lunches with anyone. No one in the office can go to one-on-one lunch with, because that would, like, honestly, if somebody's doing that, like, I think they have like a genuine complaint that they could harbor, where it's like, I am actively at a disadvantage because, like, what do you mean? Like, you're taking these guys to lunch, you're fostering connections, they're able to talk to you about work, life, everything. And I'm not. Because you won't talk to me one-on-one. So then you can't talk to anyone one-on-one.
It is so fascinating.
No, it's so complex.
Because you do need to talk to people one-on-one. You will talk to people one-on-one. You have one-on-ones with your bosses.
Like, it's just like, you're not going to have a group performance review.
No.
Like, that's awkward.
No.
I mean, I guess you could have like 2 bosses and 1 underling.
I don't know. But it just
gets complicated.
Yeah. You know, like, you got to figure it out.
Like, just be someone's friend. It comes back to it. But yeah, I do think also, you can't be texting off hours and like chatting.
I think that's where like you gotta draw the line. It's when off hours,
one-on-one. No, like group dinners, just a group friendship. But it's like, it's so complicated. One thing I will say actually with all of this is, I just want to call out the fact that I have never worked with someone who has made me feel unsafe, disrespected, or weird in any kind of way. Like, yes, is there nuance to the relationship here? Absolutely. But just broad strokes, I have worked with really kind, respectful, normal men who have just wanted to have like professional working relationships. I've never worked with anyone who has made me feel uncomfortable or weird, or really just made me feel uncomfortable or weird. So I just want to call that out. I wanted to give them their flowers and just say, honestly, I do think in general, people are trying to be good and have positive relationships.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking there's maybe like maybe 1 or 2 times where I'm like, that's like kind of weird. But like, I would say the vast majority of time, like, everyone's just trying to be nice and like do the right thing. And like, they really are. Are
there like one-off scenarios? Absolutely. But I would say, generally speaking, people are trying their best.
It's crazy because maybe it's like industry to industry, because you hear about like the Me Too movement, and it seems like in film, like this was like really pervasive with like men taking advantage of women.
I have to say, I think Hollywood is the worst industry ever.
Yeah.
And I think that they think that all the industries are like their industries, and I fear they're not.
No.
In the sense of the amount of sexism, ageism, like sexual harassment that's happening in Hollywood, I think is 10x what is happening in a lot of other industries, or particularly in corporate industries with very robust HR departments. Granted, like, you do still hear stories always.
I did come across a fun little story this week about men and women in the workplace, because like sometimes like guys do have crushes on you, and like they don't really know how to like react to it. And like sometimes it like does cross a line. And like I feel like this story like is fascinating, but we can get into it. Sometimes they cross a line. And like, what do you do? Okay, anyways, I accidentally texted my boss instead of my husband, telling him I was wearing his favorite dress. The boss replied, "I've been waiting for this." I immediately responded and said, "Wrong person, sorry." He never replied to the text. On Monday morning, my colleague grabbed my arm and told me he had seen an email to HR first thing that morning. She explained he didn't report me for the text, but rather reported the situation himself, stating a clear boundary had been crossed and asked to be removed from directly supervising me. She told me they were moving me to another team with the same role and pay for a clean break. An hour later, I received a short message from him, handled, won't happen again. Take care. Honestly, flowers to this guy.
I was going to say,
flowers to this guy.
He crushed that response to the whole situation.
Yeah.
Just like,
and also being like so brave about it.
Like going to HR and be like, I can't supervise her. You need to move for like this. We've crossed a line. And she didn't get fired. She got moved departments. Like, sucks for her that this happened, but I mean, good on the company for just like, okay, we're like, you got to move over. Oh, the pit that would be on your stomach Sunday, like Sunday night, Monday morning, going to work after sending that text. Also, sometimes, how is that getting sent to your boss on accident?
I don't know. I feel like it sometimes happens.
No, it sometimes happens, but man, that's brutal.
That's so
I mean,
brutal.
probably you're just like mindless. You're an autopilot. You're like, I want to send this text.
I've done that before, frankly.
Yeah, like you send the text to the wrong person.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's happened to me for sure. Oh my gosh, that's
a terrible text.
So terrifying.
To the wrong person.
No, that's awful. But yeah, like they did the best they could.
Yeah, and
I know. But the reality is with men and women in the workplace, like feelings like this, they come up.
Well, and it's because you spend so much of your time with them. Like you're spending more time with them than you are with your family.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just kind of like inevitable. So like these boundaries are like, it's just so tricky because like, yeah, you want to develop relationship, friendship, but like not cross the line.
I remember one time, this is like kind of niche, but there was a guy, if you're LDS, you'll understand this. But basically, like on missions, they had, you can spread out if you want to. Basically, they had, there are boys and girls that are on missions on these trips that they go on for 2 years. And one of the boy came in, right? You're not supposed to have any relationships. It's like, no, very much, no. A boy went to like the president of the area and said, hey, I have a crush on a girl who's in the same area as I am. I need you to move me. And the leader guy said to him, no. He's like, you need to figure out how to work with people that you're attracted to without acting on it.
I actually love that.
Yeah, because he's like, look, you'll be in workplaces with attractive women one day. Like, and you're going to have to figure out how to navigate that relationship without developing feelings for them. And without, you can't run away. Yeah. It's your job. You can't run away. So you're going to have to figure out how to work with attractive people without developing feelings, without crossing boundaries, and like keeping it very professional and above board. So he's like, no, you got to figure this out.
And I think that goes both ways for girls.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, if you have like a boss that's like super cute and he's married and it's just like, okay, like we still got to, like, I need to keep this professional and like I need to have boundaries for myself.
Absolutely, like you can't be caught slipping. Yeah. You have to figure that out. So I did kind of respect the guy who was like, no, you have to figure this out.
I love that.
There's attractive people in the world that you're going to have to deal with.
And like also like that's like a natural thing. So like if you have those feelings, like you're not necessarily like evil, but it's just like, hey, like, okay, move on, push that to the side.
Yeah, shove that down
immediately. And focus on what you need to focus on.
Yeah, no.
Fascinating.
I know, so it's very interesting.
Wow, I love that.
I know, I love that. But even just your everyday life, like they're attractive people and you just, gone. Yeah, pluck it. No. Not real. Also, again, like becoming friends with you're just becoming friends with 50-year-old guys.
It's like, hey, Larry, how's the grandkids? No, that's what's so funny.
No, but that's a genuine thing. That's a great thing to say. If you know about their grandkids, I mean, ask about their grandkids.
Yeah. It's just so funny because, yeah, your bosses and your mentors, the leaders of the company are 56-year-old men.
Yes.
And so...
what else do you say? Yeah, and you're like, I am a girl here, or you're a woman, and you're competent, and you're all these things, but it's like... Let's try to create a good relationship here.
And I'm like, do you and my dad want to go play golf later?
No, actually.
Like, maybe you two. I think you two would be good friends. No. I love my dad.
Like, my dad's dope. You seem cool. Larry and Raj together forever.
I will say though, like some of my my best mentors are 50-year-old men.
Yeah.
And like they are like so life impactful for me. They've impacted my life so much. There you go. That makes way more sense. And so like it can be done. Like
I agree.
And I think like there is something beautiful about having like a mentor who like is like a male figure. I don't know. And like
absolutely,
some of them are very wise.
Well, and I think it's just like having an older mentor, male or female, is amazing. It can like do so much for you because they've just like lived life and they have wisdom to give. I think actually something that is helpful about them being almost so much older is they can be more father figure-y. Your relationship really is father figure. Can be much more mentor mentee, like father figure-esque, where it's like you could be my dad. Like
there's zero.
I almost think it's stickier with people who are within like a 10 to 15 year age, where it's like we could have dated back in the day.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I get like when I talk to someone, I'm like,
Yeah.
like you are my dad's age. Dad's age. Obviously, there's people that have like really far relationships, and like that's kind of crazy to me. But yeah, like it's like you're 35 years older than I am. Like you're gonna be a mentor, and they see you as a daughter figure. Like they give you advice because they see you as a daughter, and that's always like a very nice, safe place to be.
It's amazing.
Yes. So yeah, I really like we said that.
I feel like it does. Like, again, we talk about like. I think I've developed those relationships though because I feel like they're invested in me.
Yes.
And what's hard is like I remember in my investment banking internship, everyone's like network with senior people. So I asked one of like the MDs like to coffee, and you could tell he was like just in space.
Yeah.
Which I totally get it. Like I'm an intern, doesn't matter. That was just like me like really trying to
That's amazing.
overexert myself. But like at the end, like literally I was like, I don't know what to ask you about. I know that you're on deals that are going on. I don't know a single thing about the deals. I don't know the lingo. I don't know anything. And so like those conversations are hilarious.
So hard.
They're so funny.
Yeah, because they're there out of obligation.
And like he doesn't have kids. He's just like a workaholic.
Yeah, he like all he has is work, and so you're like, okay, let's talk about work.
Yeah.
And then you're also like not going to try to get hot office goss from him.
No.
You're like, okay, what's going on in the office?
So,
but I think also with you being in investment banking, something that's interesting is a discussion around people only getting jobs because they're females.
when I was recruiting, that was like not the number one thing, but like when I was recruiting, people were like, oh, like you've got a good shot because you're a girl.
Yeah.
And they're partly right. And at the same time, I can be good at the job just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I'm going to be good.
Exactly. Well, and also it's like I'm not getting hired. Like I'm still competent. I think is what's hard. You are not getting the job because you are a guy.
Thank you.
Like that's not the reason why you're not getting the job. It's just because you're a male. And again, like, yeah, does it probably boost me? Yeah, like I remember talking to I was on like a networking call, and honestly, he was like, yeah, the firm, like, I didn't end up working there, but they're like, this firm, they're really trying to keep girls. So like if you go in the interview and you say like, oh, I want to stay here, I'm a girl, like they're like, well, honestly, they're really trying to keep girls, like, and so promote them. And so it's like, okay, like, yeah, whatever, like that can be used to my advantage, but what do you want me to do about it? Right. Frankly, let's like, I feel like great. That's a great add-on for me. I can't change that. And also like, I'm still competent. Like they're still not hiring people that are incompetent. I think that's what you have to remember is like, yes, being a girl may help you, but they will never hire someone that is so grossly incompetent. Because a lot of times, especially for entry-level jobs out of college, there are enough girls applying that it's competitive still.
I like when I first heard that when I was interviewing, I was kind of stoked on it. I was like, okay, heck yeah, like let me ride this wave. And I will say like the amount of time that it took me to recruit to get the job was like 50% shorter than like the average person. So yeah, it probably helped. But then like at some point, once you got to the job, like you have to be good. And so like it took me like at the beginning I was stoked about it. And then at the end I was like, okay, like I'm actually smart too. Totally. Like also like I'm not an idiot. Like I'm actually like good at this. Yeah. And so at some point like I just kind of had to own it and be like, no, I'm like good at this job because like I am good at this job. And like you can be a guy and you can be good at this job, not just because you're a guy. Totally. It's interesting. Our brother obviously works in like high finance, and he's so funny. He's like, the girls are either like some of the best, hardest working analysts out there. Yeah. He's like, or they like just totally suck. And I think that's actually really accurate. I don't know. But
like, honestly, probably you could say the same thing on the flip side. Yeah. Like there are a lot of guys who are like the best, most hardworking employees. And then there are guys that just kind of suck.
I have a friend who just started a sales job. Yeah. And like week 1, she's crushing it. Has done better than all of the other salespeople that are in her level or whatever. And it's so interesting because I've been around even, and when she like tells people that, everyone's just like, it's probably because you're a girl. Like you are, it was like, that's like the initial thing. It's just like, oh, like you're a girl. So like you're good. So like you have like a softer voice on the phone, or like your social skills are really good. People are less scared of you. And like, again, like it's like, there's a truth to that, but also I'm kind of like, well, hold on. I'm like, you're also like, you're good at this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, no, you have better social skills than these guys, oftentimes. Yeah. And like also to the guys, I'm like, well, like I know for a fact there were like at least like a lot of girls that also applied for the same job, and so it's like, listen, if like these girls are crushing it, then hire more girls.
No, honestly, yeah, like hire all, like if it's just because you're a girl and because they sound better on the phone, it's like, well, why is this not all female?
Yeah.
Why is this all male? Like clearly there's something to it. And yeah, I like, and again, like if you are that girl, it's like you literally just have to own it. It does take a lot of self-esteem to be like, because you have all these outside voices telling you this, to say, no, I know it's actually because I'm competent and whatever. And like, yeah, maybe you having a female voice on the phone does help you. And it's like, great, okay, move on. But also like, I'm really good at this job and I work hard and I have better social skills than you do. So yeah, I'm better at sales. For some reason, I love women that kill it in sales. There's something about it.
Powerful
just,
women in sales. I'm like, pop off queen. Because it's so competitive and the guys are so competitive.
Yes.
And like sometimes the guys can't explain why they do so well.
Exactly. Well, and
You could say
also
the same thing about guys,
like if
though.
you're crushing it as a girl in sales, the nice thing is like the numbers will just speak for themselves. Like it doesn't matter if they're like, oh, she's only good because she's a girl. At least it's you're good because you're a girl. It's not that you got hired because you're a girl. It's like, oh, you're crushing it. And it's like, well, it's just because you're a girl. And it's like, great, well, I'm going to be promoted because my numbers are better than yours. So like literally doesn't matter. That is the one benefit of sales, is there's so much numbers.
Yeah.
And so many numbers to back you up and data to back you up.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you crush. Great. Doesn't matter why.
And like, you know what? Like there are probably attributes of being a girl that like just come naturally. Like they are more empathetic or like more probably, I don't know. What would you say? Or like softer.
Yeah, like you're more, I've heard it's like you're more empathetic. You're kind of able to like say more things. You just like kind of can read a room sometimes better.
You know what? Like, use that. Yeah.
Like,
and you know what? Guys have advantage because like they can be friends with guys.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, like two can tango, I guess.
Yeah, it's like there are pros and, I don't want to call them like pros and cons, but like there are attributes to each one that are beneficial, that are different, that you can talk about. And so I just think it's like, yeah, great.
Yeah, go crush it.
Yeah.
One other thing that I wanted to bring up before we close is the idea that like, I want to set the scene. So like I was at doing private equity, and like the head of the private equity, like obviously like wanted, like I was like good, personable, fun to be around. And like he wanted me to stay. I think also to have a girl at the firm because there just wasn't that much diversity. It's just so hard because like I say that, I'm like saying that now as we're talking about it. And like, it's like, well, yeah, I'm a girl, so he wants me to stay. It's kind of crazy actually.
Yeah.
Anyways, and it was so interesting because like I want to be a mom at some point. Right. And so I was explaining to him, I'm like, listen, like being like, I don't really want to be the VP, or like, even if I made it to partner in this firm, like like partnerships, right? It's like you share the money, right? And you distribute it based on deals that you bring in and how successful they are, essentially.
Yep.
And it's like, listen, like if I am competing with other guys who are like, this is their lifeblood.
Well, it's like you're competing with guys who have a wife at home that's doing everything that falls on my shoulders.
Exactly. Because he was kind of like, well, like, if you're a mom, be a part-time, like figure it out. Like you can do that. And I'm just like, listen, like from your like elderly wise perspective, like, yeah, that like makes sense to you. But like from these guys, other guys that like I'm directly competing against, like they're not going to see that. They're not going to understand that. And like, these are like nuances. And like, yeah, these are guys that have like worked really hard throughout their career, to their credit.
Yeah.
And so it just created like this really complex dynamic of, it's just like, man, one of my issues was like, I don't want to be there anyways. I don't want to do the job anyways.
Yeah.
But like the second dynamic was like, my work output is probably going to be less than if I want to be a mom. And so like, that makes things really tricky. Cause anyways.
Well, it's like, if I can be part-time and they can't, like they have a right to be frustrated. But it's like, man, we have this partner who works half as much as I do. Obviously like your compensation will hopefully fluctuate a little bit with like, the amount of input you give. But yeah, like I'd be frustrated to be like, man, I work literally twice as hard as you do. We're getting compensated the same. And it's like, yeah, you're a mom, but at some point there's like a meritocracy aspect to it where it's like, but I work more than you do. And like, I have more output. And so, not that they have a right to be frustrated, but yeah, if like you're competing, but like for this guy who's at the top of it, he sees you all as underlings, but your direct competitors are not seeing it that way. They're like, I'm competing with you. And I have way more dedication to this firm because they're able to. Exactly. Because yes, they have a wife at home, and you know, maybe you have a husband at home. I feel like that's not very common. Yeah. Where it's like, well, my husband actually also works, turns out. Yeah. Like we're both working and trying to figure this out. And yeah, like I have 3 kids. Like, what do you want me to do?
It's so interesting.
Yeah, it's really complicated. And honestly, I think we could do like a whole episode on trying to balance life and work.
Life and work,
especially as a woman.
especially as a woman.
And oh my gosh, the single moms that are working with kids.
They're amazing.
It's
Shout out to the
amazing.
single moms who are working.
I know. Like
and
I saw
providing
this-
for their life.
Yeah, it's like I saw this reel this week that was like, man, I used to judge the moms because they would like come in late. They come in at 9:30. They would leave at 4:30 for pickup, and I was like, man, they're not working hard. And then she's like, I became a mom. I have so much respect for them. She's like, they have lived a whole life before 9:30. They have been up since 5 a.m. trying to wrangle it, and then they go home and they have to do pickup and run the lives of these kids. Like, it is insanity.
I mean, they're trying to run their own life. Like, in order to exercise, it's like they get what, like 45 minutes at 5 a.m.
Maybe,
and then
yeah.
it's just like lunches, drop off, sports, school,
Dinner.
all the emotional things that kids require, sleep.
Yeah, attention.
It is
I mean,
meant.
even thinking about working and just trying to manage your own life is
Oh my
sometimes
gosh.
exhausting and feels like you are scheduled to the minute.
Yeah,
Add on an entire dependent human being on you.
it's amazing. It's amazing. What
Next
some of
level.
these women do are amazing.
No, truly, I'm like,
Yeah.
could only be done by mothers.
Yeah.
Could only be done by mothers. Honestly, it's like, oh my gosh, so inspiring. That's all we have for you guys today. We love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.